We've been a leader in banking for more than 100 years. You'll find us here, at home, on your phone, and everywhere you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Sponsored by Renaissance Bank.
Good morning and welcome to Daily Journal Newsbreak for Tuesday, November 28th. I'm your host, Chris Kiefer, and we're going to take a look at the top news and sports stories from Northeast Mississippi. But first, let's start with your weather forecast. Today we're looking at sunny skies with a high of 67 and a low of 43, 0% chance of rain. Looking ahead at your 3-day outlook, Wednesday, partly cloudy skies, high of 66, low of 52. Thursday, rain, that chance of rain is at 40% with a high of 64 and a low of 41. Friday, partly cloudy with a high of 62 and a low of 37. Let's take a look now at today's top headlines. Mississippi's legislative leadership is proposing a smaller state budget in 2018. The 14-member Legislative Budget Committee released its $6 billion budget proposal on Monday. It calls for spending $76 million less than what was budgeted for the current fiscal year. That's a cut of 1.3%. The proposal is merely a guide for legislators to use as they write a new budget. The 2018 legislative session begins in January. The proposal calls for level funding of the Mississippi Adequate Education Program at $2.2 billion. That's $245 million less than full funding. Most larger agencies would receive smaller cuts under the recommendation. Public universities were cut $18.7 million, or 2.8%, and the State Department of Education was cut $6.6 million, or 3.9%. The proposed cut to the 15 community colleges is $2.9 million, or 1.2%. The proposal calls for the state to spend 98% of projected revenue, as is the law. The 2% is set aside in case revenue does not meet projections. The Tupelo School District broke ground Monday on a new storm shelter and gym at Tupelo High School. The project will be the 4th storm shelter built by the school district. It's another step in the district's goal of placing a storm shelter on each of its campuses. The THS structure will be a FEMA-grade storm shelter. It will be built to withstand winds up to 250 miles an hour and will have the capacity to house all of the high school students, staff, and visitors in the event of a tornado. The facility will also be a fully equipped indoor athletic facility for basketball, volleyball, band, and other activities. It could serve as a command center for the city of Tupelo in the event of a major disaster or emergency. A FEMA grant will cover $2.1 million of the cost of the 24,000 square foot facility. The other $4.1 million will be paid by the school district using money saved on previous bond projects. The project is expected to be completed in a 300-day window. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in Mill Village as homeowners and businesses prepare to open their doors for the 2017 Holiday Open House. The annual event is Thursday and Friday from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. 11 homes and 2 businesses will be open to the public. Tickets are $5 and can be purchased at Simply Sweet by Marguerite. They can also be purchased from any home or business on the evenings of the tour. Visitors can tour the homes and businesses to see them all decked out for the holiday season. There are 7 homes on South Church Street that will be open, as well as 2 on South Green Street and 2 on South Broadway. The J.J. Rogers building on Elliott Street will be open both nights, and Fun World on South Green Street will be open Thursday night only. Mill Village Neighborhood Association President Molly Tanner said the historic Spain House will not be on the tour this year, but she hopes to include it once it has been renovated. And in sports, the Ole Miss football team's success in November played a big role in the school retaining Matt Luke as head coach. Luke guided the Rebels to a 6-6 record after being named interim coach following the sudden resignation of Hugh Freeze in July. On Monday, the school held a press conference to announce Luke as its permanent coach. Ole Miss Vice Chancellor for Athletics Ross Bjork said Luke built a lot of momentum during the season's final month. The Rebels went 3-1 in November, and Bjork noted they were nearly 4-0. As interim coach, Luke was paid the $600,000 salary he was scheduled to make as offensive line coach, plus a $500,000 bonus. As head coach, he will make $3 million in 2018, with a $100,000 raise each year after that. The 4-year deal is worth $12.6 million. That does it for Newsbreak on this Tuesday. Don't forget that this show is just one of the many online offerings courtesy of the Daily Journal that gets you your news off the page and on the go. Check out the Capitol View webcast each Monday with Daily Journal Capitol Bureau Chief Bobby Harrison providing analysis on the latest in state politics. This week, Bobby talked about the wild story of how two Northeast Mississippians helped former Governor Bill Elaine finally get a portrait at the state capitol nearly 30 years after his term ended. He also talked about the politics behind a proposed vote that would raise the state gas tax. Watch it at djournal.com or on our Facebook page. Each story discussed on Newsbreak can be found in your Daily Journal or online at djournal.com, where you can also catch a new episode of Newsbreak each weekday morning at 7 a.m. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Kiefer. Have a great Tuesday.